Okay, so what's up, y'all? So what I'm going to be going over with y'all is the new motors that I got by T-Motor. They are the F60 Pro V version, which is the 5th generation of the Pro series. Now, the IV, the 4th generation, claims to have gone up in stator size from a 2207 to a 2207.5. Now, some websites have these marked, the 4th generation marked as a version 2 with a bigger stator size. I don't see it. I still see in the 4th generation that they are still 2207, because when you put this motor beside a 2020 kV version that is the 5th generation, it's definitely a smidge bigger, more powerful than the 4th generation. So what I'm getting at is that the 5th generation has gone up in kV, they've gone up in stator size, and they pack more of a punch than any of the motors that they've had on the Pro Series line. Unless, of course, you know, you get the 2,500 and something kV 4S motors and then convert it for 6S, but you're gonna have to have ESCs that can push all that motor. So I was on the hunt to replace these right here, the Racing Power MCK 2100 kV motors. These are 2207s, just regular 2207s. Now, these motors are super fast, but they're not that durable. The bells on these are soft, and you'll bend them like no tomorrow. The 4th generation durability on these, I could never complain. These are some durable ass motors. So when I figured out that they went up in stator size and they went up in kV, I was like, okay, well then they must be about the same speed as the MCK motors. So I did a flight video that was my last video that I posted with these motors, and they flew beautifully. Didn't have to really adjust the tune at all. I mean, they just right out of the box, put them on this build with the same tune that I had on these with these racing motors, and it just went perfectly. So it's been raining the past few days, so I didn't get to go out and fly. I actually got a new package in though, and did an unboxing on my TikTok of this bad boy. Look at that. My boss got this Autel Evo 6K version 3, and I'm charging it up and getting it ready for him. So I'm going to be covering the specs on that also on YouTube and TikTok. TikTok will be more covering on this, but I did want to show y'all that and how they have upgraded the fucking remote. God, what a badass smart controller. But anyways, okay, so another thing that I wanted to talk about is this right here. The camera I'm using that I'm recording this on is a GoPro Hero 11 Black. It is the full-size version of the 11 GoPro, not the Mini. I heard far too many things about the Mini and that just not working, it doesn't have a screen, you know, blah, blah, blah. There's a bunch of reasons why I didn't want it. Now, although this camera is the exact same size as the 10 and the exact same weight, I already had GoPro mounts for the 10, so I just bought the 11 and have been using it ever since. Now, because this is such a good action camera, I have always built my quads around the heavier cameras. So let me just describe it the way I think. Now, okay, some people like Apex frames. That's great, but I don't. Because if you put a full-size GoPro on an Apex, and then you have a full-size battery, like a 1400 mod LiPo like this, your Apex is gonna be like in the high sevens to 800 gram range in weight. And those frames are not going to handle that kind of weight and those kind of crashes with that much weight. So the reason why I use GRL Titanium Pro 2 frame is because, yes, straight out of the box, this frame is slightly heavier than what an Apex, say, would be, you know, with no electronics, nothing on it, just the frame. This frame is a few more grams heavier than what an Apex is. But I am willing to sacrifice a little bit more weight and durability, because I mean this frame does not break, and you can put a full-size GoPro on this fucker and a full-size, you know, 1400 mAh LiPo, a big 6S pack, and even though you have a 870 gram quad, this frame will handle every bit of the weight that it is towing along, and it will just get out of every freaking crash that you happen to have. It'll get right back up. Apex. When I flew Apex and I had a full-size GoPro and a full LiPo pack on it, and flew them at, say, you know, 800 grams or, you know, 780 grams, they fucking folded up like a piece of paper and ripped in half. I mean, they were demolished. And to spend $110 on an Apex frame that is supposed to be indestructible, no matter what you put on it, it should still be indestructible. It shouldn't, you know, in the fine print it should say build light, you know, blah blah blah. Because if you put a full GoPro on there and a full pack on it, you're going to weigh it down so much that it's not going to be able to take any fucking hit. So the reason why I go with GRL is because they are fucking a brute frame, and they will take absolutely any fucking hit. And I can not only put whatever on it, but I can trust that it is going to be reliable and come back, and it is going to get back up again. Like having a 150 gram GoPro on the front of it, and then 150 gram LiPo on it, that's, you know, a lot of extra weight. But I would rather do it that way and have a high amp ESC and high kV motors for more power, faster, because you can't even tell the weight's even there once you go up in stator size and kV per se. Like, you can't even tell it's there. Now, if I were to go and put the V4 generation motor and 19 kV on there, yeah, it would be fucking sluggish and just like, oh, this is not even what I want. So that's why I go up in high kV like that, because I'm using more weight, but I'm balancing it out by using these motors. I mean, my FREESTYLE build weighs like 870 grams, yet it still gets up and goes every bit of 130 miles an hour. And that's at 800 and something grams. That's pretty remarkable. And not only that, but you have the ability to get up that fast. I still get around 5 minutes of flight time. So, you know, you're not losing efficiency, really. You are a little bit, but not significant amount. And yeah, ever since I've started using full-size GoPros, I started thinking, well, okay, so how can I have the power and agility of a light quad? Well, you can get a bigger amp ESC and you can get faster motors, and that will give you the balance. That's what I've always done. Some people are like, oh, well, why are you running high KV like that? Well, it's because I've got a full-size fucking GoPro on there and the LiPo. And, you know, my quad is like at 800 and something grams. And I want the same speed of a racer, but I also have to carry a camera. So those are the choices that I make when I build a quad. And I'm always trying to find the motor that pulls like a fucking race quad off the line and around corners and stuff like that. Like tuning racing motors to fit your freestyle needs is what it's all about. It's a lot more work, but you have additionally a racing quad in freestyle form, and it is durable than a fucking solid rock. There you go.